Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chaz Kayato, and the topic of today's conversation is speed running a degree. So, what is speed running a degree? What are we talking about here? Well, since the advent of online education in the past few decades, it has become easier and easier for the average person to access, whether it be a college degree, a high school degree. The average person has more access to options outside of just physical brick and mortar colleges. And so, what we've seen, especially in the recent past few years, since 2020, um, this has really skyrocketed, and it goes hand in hand with what we've been talking about in other videos, where there are more and more adult learners that um, can't necessarily, they don't have the means to attend brick and mortar colleges like younger students. They need more online options, and so online options have really exploded in recent years. And with that explosion, there has become more and more ways for college students to accelerate their degree program, to the point where we're actually seeing, depending on different circumstances, some people graduate with an undergraduate degree in a year or less. And so I just want to go over, what this trend is, what it means for you. Is it right for you? I did not speed run any degrees, so I can't say for sure that, I can't talk about any of my experiences with um, getting a degree in a super accelerated period of time. But I do want to talk about this trend, okay? So that being said, I have mentioned before, I did get my master's degree in about a year. Now, since there was some transfer credits in there, um, you know, it was less than a year, but really, when you consider the transfer credits, it might have been more than a year. And then also the doctoral program that I'm in. It's technically an accelerated program that you can get in about 3 years. So, they may be faster than what some of the other programs that you can find in terms of an EDD. So, in that sense, yes, I have done quicker than what the average student may have done, but we're not talking about anything, you overwhelmingly quick. Still, very uh, standard timelines for graduation. But so, can you get a degree in under a year? And what does this mean? So, there are some colleges out there that are offering a lot of different ways to get credit quicker than just taking a standard pathway where you take 120 plus hours of college, and then you go all through one college, and it's the traditional model. So what we're seeing now is there are a lot more online colleges that are offering life credits. So, oh, well, did you work as a bank teller? Maybe you can get some type of credit in financial literacy. Did you do X, Y, and Z? Maybe there's something that we can give you credit for. So, this has allowed returning adults to take off some of uh, amount of the amount of classes required to graduate through life experience. Now, you also still have those traditional pathways of things like, you know, when you're in high school, taking AP, taking DE courses that will help you get transfer or help you get credits before you even go to college. I personally know of people that have actually tested out of or had almost 2 years worth of college already done by the time they got to college, just doing things in high school. And so now that they did put a lot of work in, an insane amount of work to do that. But that was 20 years ago, more than 20. That was almost 25 years ago. And so things have only gotten easier since then to get credits in a quicker fashion. compared to previous generations. So transfer credits, um, competency based mastery. So this is something that we're seeing a lot more often with online courses. And what CBE essentially means is, our traditional courses, you sign up for a course that starts in August, and then you have your exam in December, and that's the way things work, right? You have a traditional semester. You're going to take somewhere between 12 to 18 hours usually, and so that was the standard model, where everything was kind of on a set schedule. And well, this competency based mastery, it's it does things a little different. It doesn't say, well, you need to be in this class for X amount of time. It essentially says, well, how long does it take you to learn the material? Okay, 10 days, 2 weeks, 1 month? Great. You do that course until you show that you mastered the course, and then you get the credit for it. You don't have to wait till the end of the semester. And so what this is allowing is students to take many, many, many courses in a short amount of time, show that they have competence-based mastery, and so it's going to drastically reduce the amount of time that you're in class, or I'm sorry, that you're in an educational program. Because think about it, most people don't take summer courses when they're in college. You take your fall, you take your spring, and you follow that for your pathway. Well, if you can imagine, if you could decouple from that and you could just take class after class after class, and you didn't necessarily have to wait until the next semester started, you could get a significant number of classes finished in a shorter amount of time. And so this is something that people are turning to more often. So you have the competence-based mastery, you have life experience, and once again, this is in addition to things that you can bring from high school, such as APDE, or even CLEP testing, which you can do outside of college, right? You can take those tests to prove your mastery of a subject, and so this will all help you reduce the amount of time that you will be in a program. So what are some things you need to consider? Well, besides figuring out what colleges do the competence-based mastery, what colleges accept life experiences, like that's important. You need to figure those things out, because there's going to be still many, many schools, especially the schools that are brick and mortar schools that have maybe online extensions, or if you're just going to straight up go to a brick and mortar, you're probably going to function on that traditional semester timeline. So if you want to look at the speed running of a degree, you need to look at which colleges do this type of mastery and this type of program. Okay, but you need to make sure that you're going to a reputable and accredited college. Okay, especially with the way the internet is now, you could end up finding yourself in a college that does not have accreditation. You spent a lot of money, and then all of a sudden, you're going to apply for a job, or you're going to maybe apply for graduate school, and then you realize, like, oh my gosh, this degree doesn't mean anything. So you need to do some research and make sure that it's not a diploma mill. That it's not just, oh, you worked at XYZ for a couple of years. Oh yeah, you know what? You have all of the life skill needed for this degree. You need to make sure that the degree is accredited, and so that's important. Okay. You also, when you do this method of approaching college, you're still doing a lot of work, and you're doing it in a way where you're telling yourself, I'm not giving myself those summer and semester breaks that you would have in college. So essentially, you're just going. So there's a high chance that you will reach burnout. There's a high chance that you're going to get to a point where you just get overwhelmed by it, and then you want to stop. And if you stop, then it defeated the purpose of speed running anyways, because of the fact that it's going to take longer, or you just may quit. So you need to think about it. It's cool to say, I can go get a degree in a year. Okay. But once again, is that realistic? Okay. Can you handle the workload? Can you handle the stress of taking class after class after class with no breaks for an extended period of time? And once again, I didn't do this, so I can't be sure that there are a ton of colleges that allow this, but it does seem that there is an increased amount of colleges that are allowing the competency-based mastery, the life experience. So you just need to do your research, and then you need to know yourself. What can you handle mentally? Don't do anything more than you can handle, because it's not gonna work out for you in the end. Okay. And I know, especially modern people get really worked up and excited about something, and we go all in, and then it doesn't go exactly to plan, or we hit one little speed bump and everything falls apart. Don't be that way, right? And then lastly, you just have to look at risk versus reward. Okay. So you're going to probably put in a lot more money up front in this type of speed running program, because you're going to be taking a lot more classes. So you have to think about all of these factors: mental health. Do you have enough time? Do you have enough money to do one of these ultra fast degrees? And then you also have to figure out some of these colleges that do the fast degrees, they're not going to have the same weight. I'm not saying that universally, but some of them may not have the same level of respect or notoriety that you may be looking for with a degree from a traditional brick and mortar school. That's just something you need to consider. Okay. So overall, I just wanted to let you know that there are people out there. There are a lot of resources online about how to get a degree much quicker than the traditional 4-year path. And even if you don't want to do the all-in, I'm going to get this degree done in 1 year, there still are many programs that allow for quicker than 4 years, but still in a very reasonable way of doing it. Maybe not taking off the summers, maybe doing a winter course in between the two semesters. There are ways to get a traditional 4-year degree done in 3 years, or even 2.5 years, without having to feel like you are going 100 miles an hour with no breaks. Right. So that's just something for you to consider. Hopefully, if you didn't know that these were there were options out there for getting a degree much faster, maybe you'll spend some time researching it. But that's the key. You need to research it. You need to make sure that it is the right thing for you. Thank you.